Welcome back to Fresno Forward. I'm your host, Brock Tatum, and joining me now is Charlie in the Box. He's a local political activist and a truth monster of Fresno. You may have seen him around on some YouTube videos. You may have seen him around town on the streets, just putting out the vibe. So here he is, Charlie in the Box, ladies.
What's going on, America? It's your boy Charlie Box, the patriotic miscreant. What I'm gonna have in my box today is gonna be. It looks like they don't even want us to have it anymore, America. Let's get this video started. One thing that we were granted by God as we were born upon this earth was free will. Whatever we choose to do with our lives, that's our choice. We make the final decision. But it doesn't seem like man and government think that we deserve it. California is going to have mandatory vaccinations for all children entering the public school system of the fall of 2016. We got to submit our kids to these mandatory injections. Some of the parents, because of the religious beliefs, just ain't going to want to do it. But that doesn't matter. Submit. Some of the parents, like your boy, don't believe those injections are going to do our kids any freaking good. We look at the commercials, we read the inserts, and they have horrible side effects for anybody that gets them. Well, I ain't gonna want to do it. That doesn't matter. You gotta freaking do it anyways. See, what we as people are gonna take away our freaking free will. We're gonna give our consent to the state to do whatever they want with our freaking children. But let me tell you something. You got more power than you think you do. Don't give your freaking consent like that. Don't relinquish your free will. Stand for something. And I promise you, you can make a difference. If only 25% of us parents submitted to it, a lot of those seats in the classroom will be empty. That night on the news, what would they be saying? Bring your kids to class. Why? Because the only way they get paid is if those seats are filled. The kids will end up being in the classroom and they'll get the education. But if they're able to get away with this, there'll be more in the future. If we just take a moment to look at this administration, what's on your president's agenda? Gun confiscation. He wants the American people to relinquish their Second Amendment right in order to make them more safe in their community. The only people that are gonna have the right to keep and bear arms is gonna be the criminals, because they're not gonna obey the freaking law and the freaking government. But that means you in the middle are going to be at harm. See, the American people aren't falling for this shit anymore. The American people, they're eating more organic. They're not eating all these processed foods. The American people aren't submitting to these vaccinations, and their health is more freaking better because of it. Well, that doesn't matter. If they just mandate it, they think you're going to submit to it. You're going to relinquish your liberties so free willingly. But liberties once lost will be lost forever. We'll never get them back. And the American people are finally doing something about it. The American people are starting to educate themselves, start sharing that information with one another. And because of that, what do they want to do? They want to stop the flow of information. Internet control. What we need to do is educate ourselves more. Go to judgereport.com. And don't submit your liberties so free willingly. See, the instruments of the devil are entertainment, distraction, lies and deceit. Don't fall for it anymore. Don't relinquish your free will so willingly. God don't like ugly. So if you're not going to do everything in power to restore your life, liberty, and this country, you're going to do everything in power to destroy all three. Charlie the Box, the patriotic miscreant, and I'm out.
Oh my goodness, watch Charlie the Box before he's sent to a re-educational camp.
See, people, we have to give away our free will in order for them to impose this tyranny upon us. They've lied to us and they deceived us for a very long time, and the mass public is awakening. See, what we as people have to understand, the information that we have today is very readily available. A few decades ago, we didn't have the World Wide Web as we have it today. So it wasn't really our fault as people, because we weren't able to share the information like we do so freely. Why do you think they want to restrict the internet? Because they have to stop the flow of information. In order for them to get away with all this tyranny, they have to lie to the mass public. They have to deceive us in order to implement this freaking global governance. See, there's a lot more things that are going on behind the scenes, people. As long as we as people relinquish our free will and just submit to anything they tell us to do, there's going to be no amount of tyranny these people would be able to get away with. So we all have to question who we are as men and women and what we stand for. Because if we don't stand for something, we're going to fall for everything.